Ryan to pick up the X-ray kitty and Pedro that was spayed. So that's good, and Pedra's doing just fine. She's napping, and as soon as she wakes up, which she's waking up right now, we're gonna let her out, and she'll be fine. Oh, did you like that tour? That was fun for me too. I'm gonna practice one more time, and then I think I'll have the hang of it. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I'm glad you liked it. I enjoyed it too, and it was kind of interesting to see. And if you want to see the tour, there's 2 of them I think that are saved. One, the kind of the front half here, and the second is the back half. And it's supposed to be on our site on Ustream, so if you want to check. But I showed a whole bunch of different stuff, and it was interesting because I could see how far the iPad would go. So that was kind of fun. But Pedra's doing good. Is she sleeping? She's going to take another nappy. Yep. When she's done getting her naps, we'll get them. Oh, I haven't found him, but when I find him napping, he's going to be on that iPad, man. Emmeline is not. She was in the house some today. Then she came out, and I think they just left her back in again. We had 2 new kitties come in last week one day. I'm not sure if you guys know it. It was a week ago tomorrow. They'll be here a whole week. The black one's name is Bennett, and the girl's name, who is a Tortie Tiger, is called Rosetta. And they had been another one of those incidences where the family moves, pulling out the driveway, puts the kitties out, and shuts the door, and off they go. So they're a little bit scared, a lot scared. Judy went over to Hicksville to pick them up for me and for us. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Lynn. Yeah, it is. They're probably 9-10 months old. Farrah has not got her meds yet, but we will get it. Yeah, I know, they do. Bennett and Rosetta. Yep. So, yeah. So we'll just see how they go. We're hoping they were actually indoor-outdoor kitties. We did bring them to, up until today, they had been in Thumper's room. And when we moved them from Thumper's room into June's room, we brought them here. Neither one was very happy, started grumbling and growling. And now that we put them in a new room, it's kind of reverted them back to where they were at the beginning. So we're hoping that they'll settle down again. So I'm not going to bring them out. We've been going in there off and on today to give them petting and lovins, but they're kind of scared right now. Yeah, we have to let them kind of chill out a little bit. Farrah, you just stay there. I have just a couple. They're probably 9 months old, I would say, somewhere right in there. I've got just a couple envelopes, and then I had a couple stories for you. They were tossed out of the house, locked out of the house. The people had to move and left them outside. I know they were outside for probably a half of a week before, at least that, before we were able to get a hold of them. I think this one is going to be a surprise for later, so we only have one. And I guess I don't need a Catateri for this one. I can do this one. This is, oh, and this is from, this is from a Defiance person. And, she says, I hope all is well going well in the country and with all the critters. Been a long summer. Peace always, blessings to you. And this is Joyce S. And Joyce has been a wonderful friend to the rescue center. She's helped us for a long time. So Joyce, I'm not even sure if Joyce has a computer, but I always send her a thank you note. Yeah, she does. Some people do. As far as I know, we've always gotten it, but I always kind of shy, but she packs it well in there. Okay, so as you know, last night we introduced the Feliz Navidad to help us to replenish that fund for medical problems, and it's called the Earth Angels fundraiser, and it is illegal to send cats. Severin, I wanted to let you know I got your envelope. I just looked to see if you were on. I didn't see you. There, now I see it though. So, wait a minute, I lost my train of thought with that one. Oh yeah, so it's the Earth Angels fundraiser, and we were officially going to set it off on Sunday, next week, Sunday through Saturday. And but we opened it up so you were all aware of what we were going to do, and it's really taken hold. You guys are awesome. That's what every spare minute I've been doing today, which today was an absolutely chaotic, crazy day. Just nuts. And I only in the last 3 hours have finally gotten on the computer. So I suppose you guys want an update so far. I do. I want to see. Okay, so let me go get that. But first off, let me give you a couple stories. So just in case you weren't on last night or you didn't read the chat, we are asking for help. It's a $10 assistance from you if you have it. Even if it's $1, I tell people it's more than what we had. I have people come in here and they'll just bring us 1 or 2 cans, and I always say it's more than what we had before you came in the door. So we're always grateful for everything that comes our way. I was doing some figuring today because it just, I mean, we try very hard to use every single penny to the wisest way that we can, and it still seems like a lot has to go out of here. But then when I look in our books and I see why, it's understandable to me. But every kitty that comes in here, I minimally, at the very beginning, is a $300 charge right off the bat. And now that we have to do things a little bit different, now that we don't have Earth Angels, that has actually bumped up a little bit. But we're just going to go with the $300 minimum. And so if you consider that, and that's only for the first like month and a half, 2 months that they're here. Every kitty that's here after that, like let's say Tweet has been here, well, that's not a good one to say. Let's just say any of them that's been here over 3 months.
It might be Frogger. It looks like a big for Frogger. Is that Frogger?
Obadiah.
That's Obadiah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Big Frogger's out here.
But I still love her.
We have additional, then we have your flea prevention to put on, and a lot of times our cats will also get a 4th wormer on top of it, and we do that 3 times a year, an extra wormer. I don't know if any of you knew this or not, and I'm really sorry about the phone. I don't know if you know this or not, but about a month ago, we had a kitty come in here with ringworm. It's a fungus. Now, you want to just put it in that door? I'm not going to get it right now. Or just put it inside that door so we don't have to hear it. Thank you. You okay on the steps? I did. And, yeah, it came in, and I want to address that, Hen Cass, about the adoption fee. Ringworm is not a worm. It's a fungus infection, and it spreads very quickly through rescue shelters, families, whatever. It is something that people can get, although I will tell you, of all the years that we've done this, we've only have had a handful of volunteers that will get it. It's usually only 1 spot, and we treat it. It's so easy to treat adults or people with it. But when you have cats and it's in their fur, it's hard. And years ago, when we would get, I like to call it fungus rather than ringworm. Ringworm people say, but it's, years ago when we used to get this, what I would do is I would treat that cat, and then what we treat it with is something that's in a very, very expensive medication, and it's a minimum 3-week treatment. So we would treat that cat. Then the next week I might have 2 more, and so I would start treating those 2. And then the next week, maybe I had 4 more, and so I would treat that. And I never ever seemed to actually get it out of here all the way. So how we tell is that they usually are a little brown ring. They're usually crusty. The fur is usually gone in that place. And so those are our indicators. It usually is a brown little worm or a patchy, crusty area. And those are pretty significant in how you tell if it's ringworm. But so years ago when I used to do that, it ended up being a long drawn out affair where I never ever seemed to get control of the ringworm that would be in here. So what we do now, and we started this probably 4 or 5 years ago, is that it's very highly contagious. If something comes in here with ringworm, every kitty that comes in gets a flea bath and they get a fungus bath. So if they have it, at least it stops the progression of it. But it's still there, and actually ringworm is in the air everywhere. You have it right now on yourselves. People do. But if our resistance is strong, it never sets in. It's usually when you have a lot of close contact or your resistance is down that it is there. Almost every cat in the whole wide world has those spores on them. But it's when they're stressed or in a close environment where they're playing and on each other and licking and grooming each other a lot, it spreads. So this is what we did. It's in the dirt. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. So this is what we do now. And I cringe when this happens because it is extremely expensive for this rescue center. But it works. So when we get anything in now, and I forget the kitties that we noticed it on first about a month ago, we treat everybody. Instead of treating 2 this week and 3 next week and 4, and then 6 weeks later we're still treating it and we're not getting control of it. Now when it comes in, we treat every single kitty here. Every single one has it. And so within those 3-week periods, every cat gets the medicine, and in 3 weeks we're done, and it's done and over. The only problem is it's expensive. And because we're talking about the need for earth angels to help us, when this happens, it is a minimum of $1,500 to treat these cats. This time it cost us almost $2,000 to do that.
There are lots of them here.
We have lots of them here. The more we have here, the higher it is. For $100, or excuse me, for 100 tablets, it's $700. 100 tablets is $700. No, I've never done that one. Teacups, haven't done that one. But those 100 tablets only last for 10 days. So there you go. That's why. And when we treat for, no, I'm sorry, it's only lasting, 9 days. Anyhow, I know we have to get 2.5 loads of that to treat it. So it is expensive. And there's no generic form of it. There is one company in the U.S. that makes it. And it doesn't, yeah, you can, Thompson, but it's not nearly as effective as what the medicine is. So if you don't treat it hard, fast, and heavy, it continues to just hang here. So we treat them all. We don't treat the outside cats have never had it. They're not allowed in here, so it's not a problem. Yeah, there's only one company in the U.S. that makes it. And this year they popped the price up over 2 times of what we usually make it.
Oh,
and that's why.
The
ointment, yes, the ointment is one thing, but I'm talking pills. The ointment, what you can do is apply the ointment 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day on a cat. Remember, the problem with that, and that's very, very effective. The ointment is very effective for people, and we use that same ointment on the kitties. But when you're talking about an animal with all that hair, it just doesn't work because there's so much hair to keep it in. So we used to, when I worked at the vet's office, oh gosh, I hated this. We would shave them and then dip them in this lime stuff. It was horrid. So we don't do that. There is one medicine out there that is similar to the med that we use, but I will not ever use it again. I tried it 1 year because it was cheaper, and the cats puked and puked and puked. So now ringworm is a very controllable thing here for us. No, no, Queen. It is a very, very controlled thing here. But the way to control it is to do everybody. So that's just a little bit of something that we have to deal with. And we slid through that. Nobody even knew that. Yeah, pills are all the drugs are. They are increasing right now. We can't do a script. We have to buy it through a vet script, but it's not the same as a human script because it's insurance stuff. It doesn't work.
I had a picture in there. I can't tell what it looks like.
I don't know if you can tell this or not, but Maya. You have to just tell me. Has a picture of her cat. I don't know if you can
So
see
bad.
that or not. It's up above this eye here.
That's what Raymond looks like.
It's
Thanks,
that
Mike.
hair loss. Well, you know what? It's nothing.
You see what it looks like?
It's just there. Yeah. And usually
What it
the
looks like.
places of where you notice it is the face, the ears, the legs, and right in here. Those are the most common places for it to be. And where do the kitties lick each other? And with
Oh.
their face. So that's why it spread. Yeah. Okay. So I have a different story to tell you, and some of you have heard this already, this one here. But I would like to, someone asked me to tell the story about Patience's Pen. Some of you old-timer webcam friends that are here have heard these stories, and I know we have a lot of new people, and since we're doing this Earth Angels, I'd like to just repeat those because people hear us all the time talking about Patience's Pen and June's room. Patience's Pen, many years ago, we had a cat named Patience. And, hey, Shelley, on my desk is a cat full. Oh, no, it's right here.
Isn't she adorable?
This is a really special cat, and I always considered her my kitty. Oh,
Is that Pedro?
Yeah.
Aww. She's so pretty.
She says I'm ready to come out.
That eye is so pretty right there.
Isn't it?
Oh, you dropped your cutter.
She has the same streak that Fifi has. It's just a different, she's a different color.
aw, look at this. It's all ripped up. She did this. This is what I had in her pen. This is Patience. And she's a beautiful cat. No, it's a good story. She had a hard time, but she survived it. And I loved her. See the kitty with her? She was kind of like what Queenie and Emmeline does sometimes. But what happened was I had this family these kids come in for a visit, and they told me that, oh, by the way, they just took their cat, I think she was 12 years old, cat to the shelter. And I asked why, and they said because she has fleas, and my parents didn't want her in the house anymore. So they actually kicked her outside. And then they did feel a little sorry for her. She was declawed, never been a day outside. And then they did feel a little sorry for her, so they gathered her up, and they took her out to the shelter. And she was there for a couple days, and they had called just to ask about her, and the shelter said because of her age, she was going to be euthanized. So, and these girls are telling me this. So I told the girls, I said, would you go home and tell your parents that I would like to have that cat? And if they would go out and get her from the shelter, that we would take her. And so they promised me that they would, and they called me and told me that they would bring her the next day. So the next day comes, and it's hot outside, very hot outside. And I never hear from them until later in the afternoon. I look outside, and in a carrier in the hot sun is this cat. I don't know why they didn't come in or what, but they just left the cat there in the carrier in the sun. So this was Patience. And so she was here for a little while. It wasn't but maybe a week or two, and all of a sudden, some of you guys know the story. She disappeared in here. we searched and we searched and we searched and we searched for her. We could not find her. And so, I mean, I was really beginning to think that she really did get outside and disappear, whatever. It was like she vanished into thin air. And at that time, this pin here that we call Patience's pin was down the hallway in Kitty Campus room. And it was against the wall, but at that time we still had the garage runners, so it was away from the wall about 4 or 5 inches. And we had been planning for quite a while to do a massive change in here, and we did this about 4 or 5 days earlier than expected. And at that time it was 16 days since we had seen Patience, but we couldn't find her. And and I'll never forget this, you know, Bill and Angie that helps us, Bill went back there to try to move the cage, and I was over here. He comes out and he says, there's a cat under that pin. And you know what? And the second I thought about it, it was like, it's got to be Patience, it's got to be her. And so we went back, and sure enough, she had probably fallen down behind because she was declawed, she couldn't get out. And she never meowed. Patience never ever meowed. So she was under there for the 16 days. No food, no water. How could that be? How could a cat live that long and no water? I don't know. I still am mystified as to how. But anyhow, as you can imagine, she was emaciated. Her skin you could pull up and it just stood there. Sunken eyes, you know, but I could tell by her eyes she still had a little spark. And I'll never forget, I sat on this bench right there holding her, bawling my head off and telling her if she survived this that I would never let her go out these doors. I would always keep her. And so it took me, I tube fed her for, I was telling this to Skeets, I tube fed her for weeks and weeks, and I think it was at the beginning of the 6th week, and my vets all told me, you know, her organs are shut down, you're not going to be able to do this, you know, it's just fruitless to keep trying, because it was after about the 3rd week, it's like, this isn't working. And they were telling me, you know, humanely you need to euthanize her, and I just was not going to do it. And so the first day, I think it was of the 6th week, one of the volunteers come over, Jackie, come look at this. And she was drinking water. And from that point on, she just bloomed and she blossomed. So this was the pen that she spent a lot of her time in. And we would leave it open, but she would sleep in there, and the kitties would go up there, and she would groom them and lick them and just mother them. And I just loved her so much. She was just an awesome cat. And I believe that picture of when we won the Cat Hero of the Year award, the picture that's on for the Animal Planet one, that's Patience. That's on my lap on the rocking chair. I just loved her. She was, you know, how could you give up on a cat like that? So that was pretty cool. And then June's room, and so it's been called Patience's Pen ever since. And on the back of her pen, Kathy that is here, she painted Patience. One, it's like a dictionary, willingness to put up with waiting, pain, or anything that annoys, troubles, or hurts. Calm endurance without complaining or losing control. And that was Patience. She never, ever complained of anything. And then June's room, June was a cat that came to us as an old girl. Let me get a picture of her. Sit still, Katie.
AK or Cirilla. It's not Dana. It might be Cirilla. Huh? Yeah,
Cirilla.
It's Cirilla. That's what
I
said.
showed this picture not too long ago. Oh, it's on glass, so it's a little shiny. This is a cat that was awesome too. This is a tiger tortie. She came in to us. Somebody didn't want her, and they put her outside. She again was a very old cat, and a very thin cat when she came. She would lay on the floor, and you could see all of her bones. It was just horrid. The skin sank on her. She just was an awesome cat. And Kate, my good friend Kate, she fell in love head over heels with June. And June could not go to her house to live. She tried it many times, but June would just whack the heck out of her cat. So she was not happy, and so she was Kate's cat, but we kept her here for Kate. And June was just an emaciated cat. I will never forget it. And Kate spent days and days and days finger feeding her a lick at a time. And so when she got better, this is the cat that Kate would take in her Jeep every single day. Probably, I know at
Sometimes
least 6 days out of 7, and sometimes twice a day. She would come here every day and take June for a drive in her Jeep. Kate had a black Jeep, which she still has. She will not get rid of it because it's still called June's Jeep. And June lived here for probably 5-6 years. She was a very old cat. We had to do some surgeries on her thyroid and a couple other little things, and that cat made it through all of it. She was just a very, very stubborn, hard-headed, she's going to do what she wants to do cat. She used to sit on top of the orange counter over there, the cabinet, and while I was talking to people, she would have her hand over on my head and just pat, pat, pat me. And if I turn around, she'd swat me, and then when I turned back, pat, 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 pat me. And she was just a blast. I loved her so much. And when Kate was gone in the wintertime, I would a lot of times put her in my truck and take her for a walk or a drive for Kate. She finally passed away, but we loved her so much, and she was just a wonderful, wonderful cat. That picture that I showed you was taken in the Jeep, and Kate and her just had some marvelous times in that Jeep. She was a cool cat. So that's how June's room, and that was the room. Every night June would go in her room, and we would shut the door. She would have her food, and that was where June stayed at. So, yeah, they never live as long as what we want them to live. So I understand the loss of how it feels to lose those cats. We never want them to go. But this story here, the next one that I wanted to share with you, is in our 2002 book. And some of you older timers that are with us.
Older timers?
That's me. I've been here that long.
No, this story is about Bella. And Bella.
Feline on?
Hmm?
Is Feline on?
Is Feline? Yes, Feline on. Feline.
She likes Bella stories. She'll be on later.
Yeah. Well, Bella came, and I will promise you this next week or two when we're doing some stories on some of these. Well, maybe not Miss Gray. We're hoping he'll be able to lift that torso up. I'm going to find some stories that some of you folks that have been with us for these few years haven't heard yet. So, but this one I just had to tell because we all love Bella so much. But when Bella came, some of you may know Brad that makes some of the cat furniture, the bench. He's made a lot of the things here for us. And when Brad came in one day, he came in the front door, and he's a big fella, big tall fella, and he's so gentle with animals. He in his arms had this little bitty tiger tortie kitty that was just looking at him in the face. I'll never forget that, with that look of thank you, thank you, thank you. And Brad come in, and he said something about, I don't know if you can fix this one or not. And he found Bella on the yellow line in a very busy road. And so I'll show you the pictures, but this is the story that goes with Bella in our book. It says, Bella's story. Bella arrived at FFRC on October 17th, 2002. She was brought in by Brad, who had found her in the middle of the highway, another accident victim. Bella suffered bone and nerve damage, so Dr. Bill, our Dr. Bill again, was called in to work on her. What a sweet, patient kitty she proved to be. On October 22nd, so 5 days after we had her, her right rear leg was amputated. She does not use her left rear leg very, very much because, you know, it's straight out, and so has earned the name Bella Get Your Butt Up. We called her that for a long, long time because when she was so little, we all tried very hard to help her get up. You know how she all sits and walks. But for the longest time, I had it in my head that if we could help work that leg, that she would be able to get her butt up. So for a long time, every time I'd see her, I'd say, Bella, get your butt up. Bella, get your butt up. And then it got to be almost where that's what we were calling her for a while. But as you know, it never happened. And Bella is a bottom dragger, I call her. This is what she looked like when she first came in. Isn't she? She's so little. She's just the cutest little baby. And then this is Bella. And you can see that this leg here is sticking out. That's one of them. And this one here, she was talking to us. And so what, that middle picture there with her leg with the green, that's the one that was the bad leg. But what we did was the next day after Brad brought her, we had a big day out at the mall, and I wanted her with me so I could keep track of her. And so we took her out there to the mall with us, and we just laid her on a blanket in the middle of our tables and cages that we had out there, and she just laid on the rug, on the towel watching us, but we did wrap that leg. The vet wasn't too keen on amputating that back leg yet because he wasn't sure if she was going to be a survivor, because he thought that if she could not use either back leg, that she probably should be euthanized. And so we just didn't quite agree with that, and so our other vet that we go to now all the time, he didn't know. Yep, he's our vet that we go to now is the one who did the amputation. And we knew that she was going to be just fine. So what happened though is she has nerve damage at the back by the tail, and so that's why sometimes you'll see her tail goes into that C. That's what her mind tells her tail to do. And then, you know, the other leg doesn't work very well. So that surgery was also helped by angels on earth. Even though we didn't know you then, we had some friends then that would help us with some of our surgeries. And then later, as many of you know, last year she had to have a revision of her bum, her pad. So she had gotten a bite wound on that, and it got really, really ugly to the point where I was really getting fearful for her life. It just wasn't healing, and the vets weren't real sure about whether to step it up and do that surgery on or not to remove all that, because she needed some muscle mass there, and they weren't sure how much they would have to take out. But anyhow, we had no choice, so it was decided she had to have the surgery. She did beautiful, as you all know, and she's just great. This is Dr. Bill. We've taken just some x-rays of her. And then we worked and worked and worked on that other back leg and her back. This is what Dr. Bill is doing here, trying to get as much feeling back into her back and that leg as possible. And this is just Bill working on her, and I would always hold her for Bill. And then this is Bella right after her surgery. Isn't she little? Look how cute she is. That stump got really red and sore, but she did really well. So that's our story on Bella, and she's just wonderful. Isn't she cute? I know, we do. We just love her so much. She's got a lot of willpower and a lot of gumption in her, and to me she stands for what cats are. You give a cat a problem and they will somehow or another make it work for themselves. Well, and Bella said, you have to do this. Yes, he did. He had that cat, yeah. Yeah, now she is queen, and she has the attitude. Yeah, so that's our Bella. There is one on here that I don't think even our old-timer friends have seen this story. There's a little bit about her here, and I'll show you her story, and I'm going to bet you guys will know what happened to her, because oops, wait a minute, this way.
Kitty Cam wants you to tell Squirt's story.
this week.
Oh, yeah, we will have to do Remember Squirt. Paisley there, anybody know
Yeah.
what happened to, can you tell? Yeah, HBC, hit by car. Squirrelina. That's right, oh my gosh.
Oh, my God. I forgot.
Yeah, okay. This is Paisley. This is back in 2002, and I'll read you her story. It says, little Paisley was an accident. This was another one where people just throw them out of the car. She was tossed out of the car, and she was brought to FFRC on September 15th, 2002. She had facial lacerations and contusions, as well as a fractured fibula. Her little face was terribly swollen. However, with all of the care, Paisley had made a full recovery. And this was her when she was tiny. You can see she had horrible, somebody had tossed her, and her chin, as some of those are involved, where it drops down the lip, and her eye. She was such a mess. And then here is her healing, the eye's getting better. But she did have that fracture of her leg that was put in a pin, and she did really well. The button surgery, yeah, she had the button surgery. That's where when the chin is down here, or the lip is down here, you pull it up, and then the wire goes around the two canines, and then the sutures are brought here, pulled together, tied, and a button keeps it there. Haven't heard from KW for a while. It's probably been 4 or 5 months. He's doing great. He's doing really good. So that's our 4. That's 4 stories tonight. Isn't he a doll? So, no news is good news now, right? So today we did have an adoption, though, I wanted to tell you about. Our little Felina went, and this was to a fella who has been here several times and wanted a cat so badly. And he did every single thing I asked him to do. He has never had a cat of his own. He had a cat when he was a youngster at home. And he set up the appointment with the vets and went in for a half-hour consultation with the vet to learn more about cats and to make sure he could be an established customer or client there. He gave me the number of his landlord. I mean, he did every single thing that I had asked him to do to help me know that this kitty would be fine. He had everything ready. He was so ready for this kitty, and I'm so happy that he was able to get him. He comes on chat sometimes. What's his chat name? Somebody tell me. I'll know it if I see it. Not claustrophobic. Claustrophobic. That's his cat. That's his chat name. Yeah, and he was thrilled. And I talked to his mom this afternoon, who is Dee. Dee is his mama.
When it comes,
Mm-hmm.
she was telling me that he.
Yeah, and she said we made him a pretty happy guy. So he took Felina. And then tomorrow, as you know, Val will be leaving with I was going to tease her with Janice Kitty. Is she there? Oh, I was gonna do something. Yes, with Cooper and Pedra. And Pedra is really Val's, and Cooper really will belong to Janet. And I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but Cooper and Janet had a conference on Skype tonight. So that was pretty cool. There's pictures of it on the Facebook, which is just way too cute. Really, really cute. So, really nice. Well, being a little rough. So, if I might have time for just a few questions, and I've got a lot of yet to do.
Yeah, because I need a cat identifier.
Oh yeah, poor Jenny's trying to take pictures. Yeah. Hey, Val. Leanie has a comment for you.
Who does?
Leanie.
Who does
You
she want
need
to
2
take now?
more to make it up, and even 8. Different. You love her.
How about a blackie? Is this Everett or Raymond?
Let me see the belly. That's Raymond.
See? He's in love with Shelley.
Yeah.
I think it's
What is I need 2 more for what?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 out of the 4 are gone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at Teresa.
Well, there was 5 of them altogether.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, we still have that one. Come here, you. Let's get you back on. Most of the Tri-Lakes get adopted. Yeah, most of them do here. We've adopted a lot of 3-leggers. We've had a lot of 3-leggers over our time here, and a lot of 1-eyers, and they do get adopted. You know, sometimes people are really, oh, okay, yeah, thank you for reminding me. Sometimes people are really turned off about it, and they're right up front with me. Oh, yeah, Splash, I got to say that one, too. And so, you know, we just steer them in another direction. Some of them, it doesn't mind at all. Okay, Jana. Jana had her x-ray today, and she still has a heart murmur, but the doctor today put it as 2 or 3 out of 6. So that's a tiny bit better than it was before. That's probably where it's going to stay at. That pulmonary edema that she had of all the blood vessels is gone.
What is it?
Gone. So all we have is a cat with a heart murmur. That's it. So Jana's done it. She's pulled herself out of this. We did get one word of advice though. She should probably lose like 1 pound. I know. I call her the pear cat.
She's heavier than Cessna.
And I'll
Yeah,
bet
she's
you
a
that.
little chunky
And I'll
girl.
bet you it was Brent that told you that.
No, it was Amanda, Dr. Amanda. Well, yeah, one, yeah, she is a big girl. She's got a little butt on her. Yeah. So Jana's great, and Pedra, of course, is doing really good recovery. Is she out and about?
She's back in there. She
Okay,
just climbed through.
she's doing fine.
Since
With
she's turning into Filbert, she's not quite that fat.
No, she's not.
Hey, Splash, are you on? I have
looks
something
like
for you,
mine.
Splash.
And
Oh, gosh.
this, I'm going to go get our total, guys.
Yeah? What?
I didn't
that I know where he is. I have 2 places to look.
No, he usually is. I usually find him on the porch, but he wasn't there when I was there.
Go back in, sweetheart. Maybe the first time I found him, he was across the street.
Well, that could be too.
Well, Jackie, I think.
Mom, I'm going outside to look for Ada. You got outside.
Okay. You're a pretty girl. You are so pretty. I wish I had my camera. You are so pretty. Oh, I won't see it though. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Well, you have fun taking your pictures. I sure will. We'll have a ball. We'll probably have a couple grumpy days. That'll be all right. No, I already know that Nico and Cessna will be having grumpy days. Oh, grumpy days. Yeah.
With
Two
the
or
humans,
three.
huh?
Yes. I don't know what Tiger's going to do. He's my... He came from my dog, little dog now. And I'm going to bring him to that spot. So he's... I'm going to make sure that I'm working with the 2 of us. They have something, so I'm going to spend that time and still be with him. So he doesn't...
Are you ready for this?
I think it'll be, as long as they still have the sinks, the bathroom sinks, it'll be just fine. Take a long. Oh, okay.
We need a drum roll. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm going to get the whiteboard out later, but for now we have to do with our paper. This is what you people, have read so far. Isn't that awesome?
Jumps up on the back of the
Yeah, yeah. Remember the paper plate days? Yeah, 3,669. Yeah, that's from you, webcam friends.
Wow.
Yes, this is how much
Wow.
you have raised so far. Our angels are hearing us. And you know, even I've said this a couple times today. Even if you can't do $10 and you want to do $1, it's like the 2 cans that somebody brought in. It's still more than what we had before you did it, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Come on.
I know, it's pretty cool.
Someone needs to adopt you too. They left you today.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. So
That's
we'll
so
do this
pretty.
again, and yeah, sure, Teacup. Anything that comes in is more than what we had before. And I promise everybody, I use every single penny wisely as I can. Thank you for that. I have over 100 emails to still sort through that I'm not going to get through tonight. I've been working for those 3 hours on the emails, but I'm still way behind. So I'm trying to keep up. But I do like to assure everybody that I'm very darn money frugal. I'm very careful how we spend our money, and I try very hard to use it very wisely. Is there anything before I'm done here? Is there anything pressing that anyone needs to ask? Oh, thank you, Teacup. I appreciate that, though. You're welcome. Oh, no, we didn't do a thumper story yet. I'm not sure. The jury's still out on DeRachel. I have to stop falling in terribly big-time love with them. That's too late.
DeRachel's going to be DeRachel Moss, I
I
think.
don't know. But, you know, there's nothing like their own home. It's cat... No. We were only 1 week with the cat house call.
What was that?
Yeah, well, my hubby's at a football thing. Can goats drink? Yes, they can. At least we've done it. Our vets have okayed it. Oh, wait a minute. Now, I got to back up because I saw something I might need. Go fix Butter's popcorn. Right. You know what? He's getting out where I bring him out 3-4 times a day, and within 5 minutes, he's at the door again. Yeah, is Farrah still there? Yeah, as long as she's sleeping, I can get her.
I'll go stand by her so she can't disappear.
Okay, that would be cool. He's a pretty cool boy. Yep, we're going to do story nights for a while, even if we have boxes. Well, actually, the fundraiser it officially starts on Sunday, but we've kind of kicked it off a little bit early so we can get a lot of our stories in. And if there is a special link on our Facebook page, it's FOFrescue.org. Maybe somebody could put it up there for me. And if you go to FOFrescue.org, there is a link there that you can go to. And if you don't like to do PayPal, you can pop me off an email. Just say that you're sending a check or money order. If you're doing the link through the website, you do not have to write me an email and tell me. I will get that. But one thing, if you could put your address on there for me, that would really be helpful to me. That other voting, oh my goodness, I don't have the date in my head on that. I don't remember, Anna Marie. I can get it though.
Aww. Oh, so pretty. You got a pretty lime green collar.
yeah, we need a letter S.
You guys.
Well, I hope so. Ann Sprinkle. And then if we do, then we can pile those votes onto a labor of love. No, when they don't. The way that it's set up right now, normally, yes, I do. midnight, but the way that we have it set up through our Facebook, or excuse me, our website, it doesn't pick up the date, the address. Doing it through regular straight PayPal does, but you can go through our website to do it. Aw, that's nice. Aw, the daycare. Aw. Is Vera awake? Oh, about my puppies too. Will somebody remind me? I really need to tell you the story of Cammie. That one was one that made me cry. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. And you know, I never ever want anybody to feel sad if you can't donate. It's okay. we're just happy you're here, and the moral support you all give me is huge. Okay. Is she knowing what's going on?
I try not even to show her anymore, but she hears it. Yeah. She knows.
We're astral. You can see it in her eyes.
Good girl.
Yeah, so you keep taking those. You don't have to have those icky old seizures. It's all done. You don't have to run. Oh dear. What would we do without our girl?
I have shoes. Oh, they're way back there in the corner.
Okay, what are we going to do here tonight? Let's move this out a little bit.
We could set it up tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? We don't know that Sherry's not going to show. Have you heard from Sherry? Because she's been coming the last 2 Tuesdays.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She never tells me on that.
Well, the last couple Tuesdays she's been here, so we'll set it up. I have a small one out there that they can play if they want to.
Okay. And anything in here you want to take out there? Have enough food and...
Yep.
The only thing that you...
There is some dry fruit out there. That's the only thing I didn't bring is dry
Do you
fruit.
want to... There is some dry
Yeah,
food out
there is. I saw it. Or Maya saw it.
Okay.
Because Maya was going like, look at all this nice stuff that they have up here for everybody. She's just like,
Yeah, tell her to eat it. So who do you think you're gonna take both of them tonight?
And Maya's taking somebody else. Maya talked about me. So, and Kiki was just nose to nose with Pedra.
Yeah, I think she'll do good. Okay.
I don't know for
now,
sure who she'll take, but we'll set up later on for everybody. We're gonna go out for a while, and then we'll set up.
Okay. Can you do me a favor?
What?
Rachel and Rosie.
Is he okay now?
He's okay now.
Because
He's
if we
going
go
there.
out to Walmart's, he's okay until we get back.
Yep.